Hey folks, it's Saturday morning, coming at you just for a few minutes. 14th of December. Cheers. I want to say thank you and also to let you know that we're having freezing rain since last night here in Omaha. So I was planning to get these out in the mail. These are the sales from yesterday. Thank you so much, folks. But it's freezing, and I looked on social media this morning and also at the weather report, and apparently the roads are treacherous, so there will be a delay. I won't be able to put those in the mail until Monday. They're saying that it's literally like an ice rink on the roads. And this first freezing rain apparently caught the city by surprise. Of course, our city is not being run very well by a mayor that doesn't even live here, lives in St. Louis. What kind of shit is that? But the streets weren't treated, and so starting last night, I was seeing the reports of people just not even being able to get home, get up the street. It's so slick. Other reports of just spinning out and stuff. So, sorry for the delay. I like to get the mail. I like to get these out right away. So, Monday. Also, my next installment, my next new album, it's new here. It's got new stuff. It's being manufactured. I'll likely have copies of it by the end of next week, which I'm looking forward to. So that's the latest with that. But thank you for the response, people. And also, again, before I move on, it is extremely gratifying, the response to the music. And I'd love it if I could sell hundreds or 1,000, but it is still feels really good to know that if I put something out, there is interest in it. Thank you. So, to show a couple records, because that's what we're here for. I'm not going to talk about the news. I listened to some prog last night. I'd been meaning to pull this album for a long time. Refugee. This is basically The Nice, but with Patrick Moraz instead of Keith Emerson. And they made this one album, 1974. Bought it when it came out. This is a keyboard tour de force. And it's also bombastic and a bit overblown. But it's very cool. I love it. Patrick Moraz with the Swiss behind can play his ass off. Lee Jackson, the bass player, I don't know who told him to sing, but the vocals on here are just dreadful. He can't even sing. But I really enjoyed this album, and I just love this. I love the label Charisma. They just really got it right. The famous Charisma label. Whoever decided that, it was a stroke of genius. I think it's just a great, great design. And then this was surprisingly enjoyable last night. I went all the way back to the first Yes album. This is the 2024 reissue. This is a beautiful shade of blue, and it's a wonderful pressing. And it's interesting how Yes started out, because this doesn't give a clear indication of what was coming next, but it's still really good. The vocal harmonies were big feature of this first album. I quite enjoyed this last night. Yes. Seen, yes, 2 times, 3 times, 2 times for sure. Met Ellen White. I do like meeting the artist. I sure do. A couple more records, actually. Yeah, a couple more. This is a band, post-rock band, that I got to see. David Pajo was in the band. Got to see them. I'm so glad because that sealed the deal. Hadn't played this in quite a while. Paisages by Tristeza. And this is one of those sort of things where if I heard it now and hadn't seen the band, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't buy it. I'd probably enjoy it. But seeing people play live makes a difference. It really does. And let me make sure I didn't misspeak about who's in this band. I think I did. I don't see David Pajo on here. I thought he was in the band. When I saw them, he was with them. Oh, he opened for them when I saw them. Okay. David Pajo from Slint. There you go. Kind of a funky cover. This is good. Like I said, that post-rock kind of thing. There's some horns on a couple tracks on here, which is a nice feature. Not the typical. Pardon me. I got one more to show, do I? Well, I'll say this. I listened to the Sun Ra all the way through yesterday. This is a strange Sun Ra album. There's a lot of chanting and just his records are not consistently anything. So this one is really rather weird. The Solar Myth Approach, Volume 1. And then I'd been thinking about this record, String Driven Thing, The Machine That Cried, another release on Charisma. The violinist in this band ended up in Van der Graaf Generator. Excuse me. This is more of a folk rock band than anything. And I have 2 of their albums, and it's not that I liked them that much, but it was the Charisma thing, number 1. That label, I like that label. But there's a song on here, Traveling. It saves the album. I love that song. It's a quiet little song. It's beautiful. There's several songs in here where it's like, I don't even like this. And if you see this, oh, okay. If you see this, Dan, thanks for stopping by yesterday. Danny Vigilante from RAF stopped by yesterday just for a visit. It was great. You know, as we were visiting, I was thinking also about that. I overthink. I try not to be neurotic, but I overthink things. But, you know, it was, as we're visiting, it's like, yeah, I don't know why someone made that hermit. It's like perceptions. Does that person perceive me as a hermit? Because I definitely am not. Great visit, Dan. Really, really like you. And we're trying to put something together for a final RAF show next year. I'm going to try to make that happen. And he has a singer in mind to do Kelly's job, because Dan sings, but the register is not good for him. He can't do it. We had a great visit, though. While we were visiting, we talked so much. We talked about music. I did play a little bit of this album, Omsk by the Nits. Really didn't catch his attention, but it didn't distract him either, which is a good sign. Something else I played, though, 2 sides of this yesterday, because it's been a year since it came out. I.O. This is the Dark Side mix by Peter Gabriel. This is aging well. Peter Gabriel knows what he's doing. He takes his time, and so the parts have time to settle, like when you cook. And ingredients over time get a chance to just do their thing. This sounds even better now than when I bought it. and it's like it's slow, and it moves, and it's deep. This is really good. Peter Gabriel, he is the man. Anything else? Yes. Okay, so power tools. This is how I started my day yesterday musically. Power tools with Bill Frisell, Melvin Gibbs, and Ronald Shannon Jackson. If you don't have this album, get it. This is a quiet, I think it's almost like a masterpiece. I love all of their playing, but for Bill Frisell's guitar style, where it's like he's taking notes and like spreading them across a sheet of paper like paint. It's like the sound moves out of the guitar. Oh, I like that so much. And he does it to great effect on here. Power Tools. Really good album. Excuse me. So, I'm not going to do anything foolish, but I will as the day... It's still early. It's not even light yet. It's like just now turning 8 o'clock in the morning. So, I will, as the day warms up, the post office closes at noon. But if it's safe enough, I will venture to the post office. Otherwise, we'll have to wait till Monday. I'm glad that people are starting to receive their discs. Sending things by media mail is the most affordable way to go, but it's also slow. So I'm glad that discs are arriving and nothing has been lost yet. So that's what I have going on. Looks like I'm so bummed. Interesting to hear from you, Rebecca, about your artwork too. But it looks like I sold the original. I did not find this. I have a couple other that are collages that I really like this one, that I may eventually use. But couldn't find it. I still have another spot to look where it's possible. I try not to be attached, but at the same time, I don't know, the art, the things that I create, I don't know, they have they resonate, and it's like it's hard to part with it. It is. So I hope I find it, actually. But like I said at the beginning, and I don't mind repeating because that's the only way that you'll know. If I don't talk about this, you won't know. I have 28 copies left out of 100 of Sonicity. The word from you, the buyer, is that it's another winner, but I know it is. I know it is. I'm not going to put something on, pay money to print up a disc that's shitty. Thank you for the feedback on the my story regarding my cousin Leroy. I hadn't seen Leroy since I was a child until he got a hold of me. Like I said, a couple of years ago it was, because his sister Anita passed away. She lived in New Mexico, but the family waited and had a service for her here in Omaha when the family from around the country could come together. And that's when he came here. His sister Nita was our. When I say we our, I always reference in my mind who I'm speaking of. When I say we, this time I'm talking about my brothers and sisters. Anita was good to us. She was a good babysitter, and she was very much family. And she would tap that ass when we got out of line. She'd whip us like you're supposed to. I'm glad my parents, I can remember one time when my dad had crossed the line because he was so mad. But generally speaking, parents and grandparents, when they whipped you, it was because you were being a child, and you don't know any better, and you're doing something dangerous. And that's usually when we got whooped. It's like, you kids are, you're going to kill yourselves, dumbasses. Come here. Okay, people, have a great weekend. My thoughts are always on my family. It was interesting. Dan shared a story about connecting with my older brother through the internet. And at first, when he brought up how they connected and the music, I couldn't remember it because my brother James' music is on Bandcamp, but I had forgotten that. So that was cool that they had connected. I still haven't heard from my brother James. I'm a little bit concerned about my family. Life is hard financially, but I have to hold it down here. I have to hold it down here. Okay, have a good weekend.